Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a fantastic time. I hope you've been cutting on the time that you've been using on social media. In every phone, as our pastor made us know last time, there is a digital well-being. If you go to the settings section, there's a space called the digital well-being. If you go to that space, it has a pie chart. The round one was, the pie chart. There was a graph chart and the pie chart. The pie chart tells you how much you've spent on each app. So you can see how much time you spent on Google, how much time you spent on Facebook, YouTube, and everything, and every app. And so it's a high time that you begin to evaluate how you use your time. But welcome to this program. This is one of the programs that should be eating too much of your space on Facebook and on YouTube. Welcome to Marriage Talk Season 3. We are back again with the team to discuss about this technology thing. And there's something last week that James brought on board. He mentioned it briefly. But one time I remember I visited a friend of mine and the lady said, this guy, when he's using, not this guy, I'm giving an example, this guy, when he's holding the PS, even if I passed before him, looking like Eve, he will never notice me.
Into Pastor PS.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
It's PlayStation.
PS is not public service. It's PlayStation, because this guy was so addicted to this thing. And it went to a place even where attraction does not matter, because he's no longer even attracted to the wife anymore. You know, if at all he's going to fulfill any sexual, it will be out of duty, but not because of attraction. So everything has shifted. How do we mitigate that? Because it is a very dangerous space to be in. This is just an example of the many stories that are out there of people who are struggling with such things.
I know, because I interrupted about the PS. Let me explain without one with PlayStation, because now that's in the gaming world, now that's another different story.
Yes.
Because it's trying to make what is reality out there onto a screen and making someone go into that world and feel as if they are doing that, as if they are out in the world doing what they are seeing on screen.
Virtual reality.
Because, it's now it's gone to that point of virtual reality. And it's a bit dangerous because in these cases we are seeing, you read the paper every day or every week, there's going to be a case. And these gamers, they are very cunning because they know how to sell it to you. And what they sell to you is a lifestyle, a lie in a way. That's why you see someone will be bold enough to think, to come and think like what they have done on screen. Like let's say maybe they were driving a driving game for driving cars. Then you find someone is honing around, driving their car up and down, thinking what they have seen is something they can do in real life. Whereas it's just, a reality which is a bit twisted. Same thing we can see when it comes to people who are out there, this is why there's so many knife crimes, to be honest, like in London these days. Because some of these people, you find most of their time, you think what you're seeing, what you're doing on screen, you think you will apply it in reality. Whereas when you come into the real world and apply it, is a crime. It's a crime straight away. So with that one as well, as you're saying, in marriage, it can take away the one thing. I'm lucky myself. Before I met my wife, this is way before I met her, I remember I used to have a PlayStation. But I'm one of those people, I'm curious. I like to, why can't I have one? Let me see. And I remember, and I'm being honest, I remember I bought it. I bought a second-hand one because I want to experiment what's going on out there. I was still in university. I was still in Australia. And I remember I played one game a whole night. Yeah. And when morning came, I was like, what did I do? Because morning came and I'm like, wow, what happened? What did I do? And the realization of this thing, I stayed there all night just playing a game. I just folded it and I went and I sold it straight away. And I said I'll never own one.
That when you told me you called in sick.
I think I called to work sick. I remember. Because, it's morning. I'm waking up in the morning. I'm still playing a game. So even you can't go to work. And yet I used to live like with another housemate at that time. The guy had a PlayStation. He would queue up when they come out at night, when these things are sold, you find people are queuing at midnight to get one just the next morning. He's got a PlayStation, he's got an Xbox, he's got a Nintendo, he's got, I can't remember the other one. Now, he was coming from work, playing one for 2 hours, then picking the other one, playing for 2 hours, then picking the other. That was his life. So that's why even me, I wanted to know what's going on. And by trying it myself, I went like, no, this is not the way to live life. So, and these days it's become now more technical because you still chat with people live, online, when you're on the game. So you are chatting with someone you don't even know. They're in a different part of the world. And now some people you get to know, to become closer with them. And these are the other cases you get to hear. There's maybe a pedophile who was trying to chase a young girl or someone, because they started chatting each other online. Because you don't know who's on the other end. Some people are playing with a 6-year-old person, yet you don't know, you're thinking, he's a good player, but he's a 6-year-old or 10-year-old person, and you are like a 45-year-old man on the other side of the world. So it can take away the one thing. So if you're that 45-year-old, you're playing with someone who should be like your child, yet you're not giving time to your own family and your own children.
Wow. Very sad. Pastor, do you have anything to say?
Well, on that angle, I don't have. I've never prayed a praise station. I've never, even up to today, my ignorance still protects me from that.
Should buy you one when you go on holiday.
As I said, and let me say this again. There is something all of us we have in common. Whether it's a rich man or a poor person, whether it's a young man or an old person, and that is time. And how we spend that time is what makes the difference in our lives. Before I engage on a certain journey, I don't want to learn with my own life. That's what the Bible says. I wish above all that you may have understanding. Understanding is that knowing that my choices and my decisions have consequences, and also they create opportunities. Let me see the path I am taking by somebody who have walked that path. Because there are two ways that you can live your life. Either you live by instruction of what you know or what you have learned, or either you experience with your own life. But the tragedy of experiencing with your own life is the consequence you're going to suffer. So before I engage myself in that, let me look somebody who is spending hours on the social media and let me know what their outcome is. Because if somebody is spending 4 hours on the social media, how is their marriage? How is their investment? And there's so many different things. I don't just want to do something. I don't want to be overtaken by the immediate. I want to see the ultimate. Because it's one thing to know the desired end, but for me to know which are those steps. And that's where wisdom and understanding and discernment comes in. For me to get there, this is what I need to take, this is what I need, because there is no decision without also excluding some stuff. And when I think about the enemy is a very cunning person. The Bible says when Satan came to Eve, the Bible says that Eve saw that the fruit was good. And that's one of the things that we need to know about the enemy. He is a schemer. Schemer is somebody who plans under the table. You can't easily be able to see what he is doing. And the Bible says that when Eve saw the fruit was good, and that's one of the things we don't understand, because we think that the enemy come like a devil. He come like an angel of light. He does not necessarily tempt us with evil things, but good things, but not right things. And there's a difference between good and right. Just because something is good doesn't mean it's right. And we need to know what is the difference between good and light. Okay, I've prayed that prayer station for 2 hours. It's probably not a sin. But is it the right thing? Is it taking the one thing? And our challenge is we don't sometimes differentiate the immediate and the ultimate. If we can see what the tempter is tempting with, then I can be able to see, because I always say, and I've said this several times, the tempter and the tempted don't see the same thing. Eve and Satan did not see the same thing. Eve saw the fruit. Satan saw the fall of man. And if you don't see who the tempter, what he's showing you, you will take the fruit and he'll take the destiny. So for me, before I engage, let me see the desired end. If he's going to take the whole thing, especially when you're talking about the one thing, my wife right now, if at all this union, we are not spending together, we are not investing together, at the end of the day, it's just like a ship when it's in the harbor and it's tied to the harbor. Sometimes we are not very far, but we are not still the same place where we used to be. And you know that when you start conflict come, then you find there are a lot of conflicts. We are still in the same house. We are still dealing with the same thing, but we are not in the same line that we used to be. And that tells you we might be the same place, but not the where we used to be. So such difference can only be narrowed when this one thing should be our ultimate, and we must be able to deal with any threat. And especially we're talking about the social media. There is no way you can spend 3 hours, 4 hours in the social media and you expect this relationship to remain the same. No way.
Wow. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how you can top up that. But for me, I feel it's important to protect. So, like Pastor has spoken about, and the dangers that James has pointed out, that you can spend a whole night doing something that is not of value, that is not okay, they are professional gamers. I don't know how they make money. So the thing is, use your social media for positive. We know that right now out there, we are doing this via social media. We are doing this via technology. So it is accepted means and mode of communication and getting information out there. You can buy and sell on social media. You can advertise yourself, market yourself on social media. You can brand yourself to be something on social media. But do the right thing, the thing that will build, the thing that will add value, the thing that will increase. But what is not good, take it away. Protect your children. Protect yourself. We usually post as it's going on Facebook, it's going on YouTube. And sincerely, within the minute as it's going on, the minute we start, we are talking about marriage talks. Then you see the enemy coming and you see people posting link in the comment, and it's pornographic links. So you go in thinking, I'm going in to watch marriage talks. But then there's a link. You'll be interested and you click on it. Then it will take you to a different world altogether. So constantly you find that the media guys have to filter, have to switch off comments. They switch on. It's so the idea here is, and the thought here for me is protect yourself. Like Pastor is saying, protect yourself, protect your children. Don't let them become victims, sexting, pedophiles, gaming. Now there is a day I was seeing a little while ago where young kids were committing suicide because they have been groomed towards that, and it's all on social media. And then, there's this, you see our kids behaving drunkenly and doing other things that you don't want. So please, let's help even our children to understand this is the world they are in. They are growing up with these gadgets. I mean, you just need to come into our house. I have an iPad, I have an iPhone, he has his laptop, there's an iPad, there's an iPhone. Now, my children, they will have, I don't know, this screen, iPad, mini iPad, it's all the same. But that's their world. But then you need to trust God that God will help them. That's where they are, that's where they are promoting themselves and doing what they are doing. But let's use it for good. We are not saying it is bad. Use it for good and use it wisely. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, do you have anything to add there?
I saw a cartoon the other day of two guys discussing an image that was ahead of them, and they were asking each other, is that a human being? And the other person said, no, it cannot be. That's not a human being. The other one asked, why do you think it's not a human being? It doesn't have a gadget, you see? You see, it was a scarecrow. It looks like a man, Because people have gotten so hooked to gadgets that they cannot stay without them. There's a guy I watch, a jazz player called Oliver, and he says he's a bus driver, and he says that's the best job ever because he doesn't take any work at home. He leaves the bus wherever. There are people who take work, take gadgets, even into their very bedrooms. They are in the bedroom where just the bed is there, and at the corner, that's an office. And I don't think that would work really well, because sometimes you'll find yourself overworking yourself, doing what you are supposed to be doing tomorrow. That's time that you're supposed to be spending with your partner. We used to have a small bag. We should look for it. I don't know why. We could hang it at at a hook somewhere and put all our remote controls in there and our mobile phones in there. And it had a writing on it, family time. Yeah.
Glory.
We were given by Bishop J.B. Masinde. We went for a couple seminar and we were all given that bag. I think we still have it somewhere. And there's no better time that we had in our family than when we used to do that thing every single time. And I think that's something we should revisit. It helps a lot when you can be able to keep away gadgets. Like the other day I was watching Jesse Franklin, and they were saying that they were fasting for 3 weeks. 1 week was for gadgets. So fast, do away with gadgets and see how life will be without gadgets. And thinking about gadgets in the bedroom, sometimes you see there are so many good things that happen in our bedrooms for couples. But when you take your phones and you're sleeping side by side, each with a mobile phone, until 2 a.m. in the night, can you imagine? You are just there, but you're not communicating. This one is watching their own stuff. Could be good stuff. Worship. I'm listening probably to my Bible. But let me tell you, to the audio Bible, that's a good thing, but you're doing it at the wrong time. By the time you finish at 2 a.m., and that's the time you want to start any other project, those projects will not work. Those projects won't move, man. You cannot. You're not connecting. You're starting a project and tomorrow is work. It won't work. So one of you will be offended, because men will be offended. Let me say the men. The man will be offended, because when you're telling your wife now, darling, project time. I tell you, come on. It's not the time to talk about that stuff. Be sensitive. You will receive a preaching right there and there. So, mobile phones and gadgets are taking away the one thing. We should not take them to our bedrooms. We should not take them to our bedrooms. No, we should not.
Wow.
I think, JS, I want to say, so then how do we counteract such? We can't leave it there.
Yes.
So for me, I'll be honest and say that from the beginning of the year, I told my husband, 9:30, everything has shut down, personally for me. So I shut it down, and it's time now to do my prayer, to do my study. I like doing skincare for my face, whatever I need to do, me time, So the thing is you need then to have a habit that will not be around social media. You need to find time. Like if you know that you can be able to spend time on your phone up until 11, why don't you decide that I'll be reading a book 10 chapters, or I'll be reading a book 10 pages. I know of a guy that he reads, I don't know, is it 7 books every week? So a day for a book each day, and then he reads 10 pages of each book. I don't know when he'll ever finish, but he does 10 pages every night of a different book on a different subject. So one book may be on marriage, the next one might be on parenting, the other one might be on finance, the other one might be on his passion, I don't know, pastoring, another one might be, I don't know. So every day he reads. So the thing is, you need to have new habits. You need to have certain routines that will help you to get unstuck from social media. And you see, you have to discipline yourself to do this. You know, you discipline yourself. In the morning when I wake up, instead of going to social media, the first thing I'll do, I'll go down on my knees and start praying. Instead of going to social media, I will go and make a cup of coffee. I'll take a shower. I'll do my study. Before I go to work, I must have done several positive things that are going to build me, that are going to help me to build somebody else. And you have to do this conscientiously. And you have to make it a routine for it to become a habit, for it to become a discipline. You have to do it. Otherwise, it will eat into your time of work. Like Naomi told us last week, that becomes straight away a disciplinary action. I've seen people in my place of work, disciplinary action has been taken against them because of something they put on social media, and somebody else answered them on social media, but it concerned the workplace. It may be your profile, but it concerned the workplace. And they have been taken to disciplinary because of that. So instead of getting into trouble, like you said, taking away from the one thing. Now, if you will be able to spend so much time on the phone and you cannot spend quality time, have intimacy, a time of intimacy, of connecting, the next thing you'll do, you become a victim to pornography. You tap it easily, then it will become a whole thing. And then now, it will be you need deliverance. Before you get to the point of needing deliverance, you need to deal with it. So use social media for good. You know, I know there's Facebook Market. Use it to do good. There's all these things. You are smiling because we have our own thing with Facebook Market, you know. Yeah, we can find it on Facebook Market. And I always tell JS, are you sure these things are good? Are they? But anyway, it's good. We've bought even church stuff on Facebook Market, isn't it? Like some gadgets, and they're really good. So use it for good. Use it to promote. Use it to build. But then try and discipline yourself. So one thing you can do is start having a routine of positive things. They call it stacking habits. Start stacking your habits. Read, study. You know, there'll be time for watching and scrolling, but how much time are you watching and scrolling, you know? Do different things. Have a hobby. You know, spend family time. I think we need to create those bags and write family times, all the remotes and all the phones and everything.
If you want them, see me.
Yes.
You have a business idea.
We need them.
If we said there are more phones than toilets, then I'll be making more money than the tissue paper.
Yeah, that's
Are you done?
I just wanted to say something. I will definitely take up that bag idea because I think we find that with technology, even TV, everything is too much in our faces. You know, if I want to really get, say for example, my husband's attention and he's on the phone, I'll just say, honey, I need 100% attention. Yeah. You know, and yeah, that's the society. This is where we are right now. But this is affecting many marriages and especially young people who are very gadgety. I've worked in offices where you can just tell somebody's age by where their mobile phone is. Somebody is got their phone on the monitor, right next on the corner of the monitor. They're working and they're like this. They're scrolling or they're checking their messages or their WhatsApps and whatever, but they're working. They're actually working in a work environment. It's very addictive. And for a marriage, it's not helpful. The other thing is you have to guard your hearts. We have to guard our hearts as married people. How many times have you scrolled on social media and seen a very explicit image on there? How do we get around it? You know, for example, I go in, if I see someone that has by any chance posted something, I don't care whether they are family, friends, I block them.
Yeah, me too.
I block them so that I don't have to expose myself to those kinds of images or inappropriate videos. We have to find ways of protecting, guarding our hearts.
Yeah.
Because now it's not just from TV, it's from the phone, it's from the laptops, it's from the advertisements that come on. Sometimes the advertisement come on, and I tell my daughter, close your eyes, close your eyes, and my little one, the 2-year-old is shouting, skip ad. You know, we have trained our household that some of these things are not allowed in our home because you don't want to invite the wrong spirits in your environment, in your home. So guard your hearts, guard what you're looking at. If you know that you're bound to find something that is inappropriate, find a way around it, switch it off, or I don't know, because social media is so good. We're getting preachings from there. We're getting so many good things. Marriage Talks is on social media, but we have to still guard our hearts from the bad things. Yeah.
It's an advert that came on TV the other day, and I told Samuel, come on, skip it. And he told, I can't see it, you know. Was turning away, I can't see that, you know. Yeah, you know, it was just something else.
I think, I think one of the other things is that you cannot think about doing away with certain habits without thinking how you're going to replace them. It has to be a plan. It has to be a discipline, and it has to be consistent. Because I cannot just think, I will say, I will not spend so much time in the social media. Is that time of the social media, how can I replace it with something more beneficial and more profitable? And if at all you just say that I won't, you will not survive. You will not go for long. Say at this time and make sure that you stick, and probably even if you need to have somebody who will be accountable to. Because some of these things are not just going to wish away. It has a plan, you have to stick to it, and you have to stay. They normally say that when you do something for 30 days, you start getting comfortable with it. I think it takes about 72 days for it to become a habit. And I'm telling you, if you do that, then we can be able on a round that is changing. Otherwise, if we leave things just the way they are, it's going to keep on chipping away our time over and over again. By the time we realize, it has taken the one thing.
Wow. Don't allow your destiny to be taken by something that you can control. I think, Pastor, you should preach to us about technological demons. Because nowadays we are, which I believe is true, because nowadays we are not dealing with it's not that we are not dealing with those demons that we used to deal with. It's just that there is a new way that is creeping into the lives of people, the lives of Christians, the life of Christians. And as Mom has said, there are some people who need deliverance. Number one, from the phone. Number two, from social media and from gaming, from all these things. And that's, I think, we just need to talk about technological demons, because I think it is a sort of teaching on its own and deliverance on its own. And we shall also start a rehabilitation center. We shall start a rehabilitation center because I think we'll be one of the richest people here. Because I think as parents, I think because of the way life is busy, we want to be away from the children. We want them to be less bothering, to us. When they come to us, the first thing you look at them, instead of listening to their problem, you're asking whether the cartoon is still working. Because that shows where the problem is. Because if the kid will come to you and they will start pulling you and they will start playing with you, and you're going to the phone to see if and you're asking, oh, did you touch it and it has switched off or something, instead of like listening. So relationships are not being built with kids and the parents. And that's why we are probably, I think, one of the highest rates of deaths that are happening nowadays is deaths to do with cyberbullying and things like that. And those challenges where someone is seeing a challenge online and they're going to commit murder, just to do a challenge. There's the good side, as we have said, but there's also a negative side. And the honest and the truth is this: if you know that you are struggling with something like that, just because nowadays you are cool by the things you know. So the more you know on social media, the more trending things you know on social media, you're cooler. You're not left behind, quote unquote. But there is a life after this, and the things that you ought to know more, they are the ones that that relate to the life that is after this. Focus more, develop a habit. I think they say take about 21 days to change one habit from one way to another way of a habit. Take 21 days. Fast from the phones, fast from everything that you think takes your time. If you cannot manage it, find an accountability partner, and I think all things will be well. If you have any questions, if you need help, if you need to contact any one of us, please. This is a serious problem. We cannot overlook it, and that's why we have spent 2 straight weeks talking about this, because it is important. May God bless you. This is High Heights, where we love, serve, grow, and make a difference. And this is Marriage Talks, where our marriages must come to a rest. We are restored, empowered, strengthened, and transformed. May God bless you.
Amen. No form of